Hello, everyone. Welcome to Peoria Life, brought to you by PeoriaLife.com. Today, we have a fantastic guest for you, Manhotness. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We were just chatting a little bit before the show, and we were talking about some of the projects that you've got going on in the area. I'm really excited about them. You've got some stuff you're going to be premiering at the movie theater. Which one is it again? The one downtown, right?
Yeah,
The
the
riverfront.
Peoria Riverfront Museum, and that's the short film Annie Malone music video, sponsored by Arts Partners, Central Illinois Arts Partners. They actually gave me $1,000 to a grant towards the filming and the production of this short film music video. So Diane Hawn at the Vineyard let us film scenes out there. So we filmed an escaped slavery scene
Oh wow.
out at the Vineyard. It was crazy. I had the whole uniform on, you know what I'm saying? With I didn't have my gun, but I had a stick. You know what I'm saying? Because Annie Malone, dad was in the Union Army.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and and we filmed scenes out at the Weaver Ridge. Um, the Weavers let us come out there and film scenes out there to get that old fashioned modern look in the 1800s, and we filmed scenes at the museum. So it's going to be a huge deal. We got kids involved. We actually paid the kids $50 stipends after they helped direct, produce, act. Um, Man, it's life changing. It's gonna be great. So we'll be premiering that sometime in the middle of Black History Month. You know, for the whole city, we'll be
Yes.
informing everybody about
I'm
that.
looking forward to that. How did you get into video production, doing these documentaries? Like, this is amazing work.
Yes, it is.
Man, it's like I love history. Like when I went to school, math and history was higher than math,
Oh,
but
I love
I
math.
always I was always score high in math, but history was always my favorite subject. Love history. You know, I don't think the good or the bad should ever be changed or hidden. You know, like a lot of times they say, "Oh, this was bad. Let's do away with it." Why? If that's a part of history, we need to know about it. That's
Because they
how we
don't
learn.
want us to learn from it. They don't want us
Exactly.
to learn from it.
Exactly. So, Annie Malone, the story of the first black African American female millionaire who learned her trade in Peoria, Illinois. Like, that's huge. I
I
mean,
didn't
She
know
did
that.
all those hair products, right?
yes, it was called Poro,
I,
Poro.
yeah,
Yes,
I've seen that exhibit down at the museum.
yeah, it's great. She had a money cape. So if you ever go down there and see the money cape, that was
Yeah,
Annie
yeah.
Malone money cape because people was like, she paid more taxes one year than every single resident in the state of Missouri
Like I actually
combined.
saw her money cloak recently when I went down to the museum on Sunday.
Yeah. So shout out to Pure Riverfront Museum for and Akbar Bryson, who is her great nephew. They had all this stuff stored in the attic. He didn't even know this was his aunt, and start going through it. And I mean, this is history right here in the city of Peoria that almost went unfounded.
So Mr. Bryson's going to be a future guest on our show. Not my.
Yeah, and so they named the street right there by the police station now, Annie Malone Boulevard, which is shout out to the city of Peoria for doing that. That was amazing acknowledgement for her. Um, Madam C.J. Walker, great granddaughter, came to Peoria, down to the Peoria Riverfront Museum, and she spoke about Annie Malone and how the movie Self Made, the Netflix movie, executive produced by LeBron James,
Oh.
how that portrayed Annie Malone in a poor light, and they tried to change her name and call her like Addie Monroe or something like that.
Ugh.
But her Madam C.J. Walker, great granddaughter, came to Peoria and said that was a story of fiction. Yeah,
Interesting.
I saw that Netflix show and I didn't realize that like the competitor there was Annie Malone. So that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. They tried to change the name, the producers, and because the The show was based off of Madam C.J. Walker great granddaughter book, the novel that she wrote, and she said there's too many people out there that know about Annie Malone, and I believe that if y'all portray her in this light, people are going to be upset. So they said they will just make it a story of fiction instead of based on like a true story. But when most people see it, they thinking it's based on a true story, and it's just such a spit in the face to Annie Malone, her legacy, being that Madam C.J. Walker worked for Annie Malone. You know what I'm
Sounds like a
saying?
big missed opportunity.
Well, if I recall, didn't they depict it as someone who
She was kind of hating on
didn't have
Madam
African
C.J.
hair,
Walker.
essentially? So she was, yeah.
Yeah, it was a poor portrayal. And these are the words that comes out of Madam C.J. Walker great granddaughter's mouth.
I mean, there's some changing the whole a single part of an actual story can completely change the narrative. Like another example of that I find very similar is something that movie about Stephen Hawking called The Theory of Everything. Basically, in that, like the guy who did his doctorate under, like the movie portrayed him as like kind of hostile and a hard ass to him. But the thing is, he was very supportive because a lot of people who knew Stephen Hawking didn't like that movie.
Yeah, and that's the real question is why was Annie Malone legacy, destroyed? And I mean, if this woman, became the first African American female millionaire, why isn't she acknowledged for that? And so part of what we're doing is restoring her legacy, and it's so big, being that, and it makes sense that she came out of Peoria, Illinois. She learned her trade here because we know we set the standard for the world, right? Peoria Life. If it plays in Peoria, it plays right anywhere. So they need to stop hating on the P. A lot of people, they don't want to give us the credit. The Duryea brothers, the first mass-produced car, Peoria. The Peoria Riverfront Museum talk about that. The first mass-produced car was made in Peoria. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the king of comedy, Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
The standard in comedy was set by a comedian born and bred from Peoria, Illinois. So let's give a round of applause for Peoria, Illinois, and the residents in Peoria, Illinois out there. You know what I'm saying? We the real winners. We gotta stop hating on each other, stop being in these silos and letting people differences separate us and divide us, because united we stand, divided we fall.
Well, here, let's talk on that. Because something that I've noticed is I noticed that a lot of these silos get created out of almost a manufactured need. It's like we need to protect what we have and who we are and what we own, because resources for many in Peoria have been so scarce. So, and I think it's almost just like a natural, it's what would happen in any situation when you take resources away from people when they need them. So I see it as, if we can start putting the resources in the right places with the right people, suddenly the silos go away. Suddenly you've got a community. You have individuals contributing and working together. Nobody's worried about the money because everybody's getting paid.
Hey, it's crazy. You hit it right on the nail. And you said the one of the key words, manufactured needs. You know what I'm saying? And if we want the audience to understand what that really means, that means that you create a problem, so then you act like you come in and play the savior with the solution with taxpayers' dollars, though. You know what I'm saying? When we could have not even had the problem, we could have got rid of the problem a long time ago. And what's one of the main problems plaguing Peoria, right? The violence, right? The murders, the homicides. It don't matter if it's just happening majority in the Black community. It affects the city as a whole. People are scared to go out. They like, I'm not going downtown. Somebody just got murdered down there a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? And then all of the businesses, people don't want to go buy no new clothes. They don't want to go to no restaurants. People don't want to stay in no hotels. So all of the businesses are affected just by something that's happening by a manufactured need, a manufactured problem, which I've been telling people for years, it's the culture. It's the music that's creating this violent atmosphere that African Americans feel like we gotta own this hip hop. We own this. This ours. They can't nobody tell us what to do or how to rap it. What do you mean? They talking about murdering real people in a song and then go on the internet, taunt the family and the ops, and then expect to be alive in 2 months or not locked up.
Because
So
like
I'm gonna push back there because when I look at a lot of the hip hop music and music that's been sent out, like drill music, like a lot of that music that's being perpetuated is from not necessarily from the community. It's, look at the owners of the music, the people behind it, that with the distribution networks, like those people are making money off the deaths of young black men. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. So
But it's also gotten to the point where, there's such a good big genre. We were talking about you yesterday, and somebody said, he's kind of against the drill rap, which I love. I like the sound of it. And for me, I didn't grow up on hip hop, so it's kind of a way that I can bridge myself over. I'm like, I don't think I could actually rap, but I could probably pull on some of that. And I feel like once rap got big enough and expansive enough to go into everybody's home, we do now. We have mental health rappers, we have positive rappers, we've got a lot of people saying positive things. And I think in some of these cases, the genre is just so small. They sell the violence first, and they sell, the anger first and sex.
And you're exactly right, because you're an adult, so you can listen to something, process it, and still know the difference between right and wrong. For us to expect that out of a child, out of someone whose brain hasn't fully developed, they're looking for mentors and people to look up to, people that's successful. And the ones that we're giving them is saying, you need a couple bodies under your belt if you want to get a record deal. You need a couple bodies under your belt if you want to be cool in the streets. We don't care about money no more. Like when we came up, gangster rap, it was about getting money, partying. You might have to shoot a couple people. You had the politics in it. Drill rap means drill bullet holes in you.
So one thing also
is murder music, and you bragging about the murder, and then it's juvenile. So then when you see that majority of the homicides is happening by juveniles, because an adult can listen to something and process and be like, I'm not about to do that. I'm about to take my butt to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But a kid, we all been kids. We all been that age. We all have been influenced to do things that we wouldn't do as an adult because we are listening to our favorite star. And whether if it's white people choosing to pop pills and do drugs and stuff, because that's what the music that they're listening to is promoting the most. And when your brain is undeveloped, we can't hold them to the same standards as adults. But right now in Peoria, we got 10 kids being charged as adults with the RICO. Ain't nobody took into account that these kids have been bred under a culture that's pretty much MK Ultra. It's brainwashing. This is the movie they cloned Tyrone in real life. I don't know if you've seen that movie or not, but when Jamie Foxx in that movie, when they was trying to tell you that, it was the whole moral of the movie was the music is what's controlling the whole narrative. It's controlling the whole hood. And I remember when the movie came out, Jamie Foxx was going through the stuff he was going through, and it was trending on the internet all about this movie. They cloned Tyrone. It's the music and music. Everybody was seeing it, and I said, and it's so sad because in 2-3 weeks, that wave gonna go away, and people gonna go right back. But I ran into somebody today said major trap rappers in Chicago said they New Year's resolution is they ain't making that music no more. And they said the movement is starting to spread down to Champaign. We need to get back to the original roots of what hip hop meant. And that meant to uplift our communities in all the communities around us and not tear them down. That's music is one of the most powerful teaching tools in the world. We all learned our ABCs because of a song. That's how powerful they use music. I tell people you got the NBA with music, but you got music without the NBA. You got music without NFL, but you don't got the NFL without music. It's a rapper that's going to decide who performs at the Super Bowl. It's just the most watched televised event in the world. It's not like it's nothing. Just 200 million people gonna be watching.
126 million.
So
Okay, all right. I might add a few numbers on that. But
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
I like data. I like data.
but
No,
that just shows you how powerful music
No,
is, or how powerful hip hop.
Yeah, but it's like it's
music
the new it's the new age. It's the new age. You know, the new age kids is the kids that get, because I listen to NWA and I listen to a lot of killing lyrics. Brother Lynch hung a lot of stuff. Eminem, people talking. I mean,
Yeah, Marshall
it's
Mathers
about your
LP, man.
mindset, and it's really not all the kids. It's how the kids is being taught. You know what I'm saying? Raised up through their household and how their family raised up. Because I got 10 kids, so none of my kids are shooting, but all of them listen to drill music. Most of them, you know what I'm saying? It's really how you raised at home and how your family raised and how you got your kids' mindset to deal with these issues that they're going to face as they're going through life. You know what I'm saying? And I praise and happy that my kids are video game kids and play at home, and you know what I'm saying?
And
Stuff like that.
They got their daddy. So we gotta think about the kids that don't got that.
Yeah.
So
You know what I'm saying?
what you're saying is,
Of course, it ain't
drill
all the
music
kids,
is
but it's a lot.
trap.
It's like
Or
my
could
brother
be.
just said.
Yeah.
The household they coming from, it ain't together.
Yeah.
So when they looking for those role models to look up to, look at what we're giving them. And
Yeah.
that and because I was talking to somebody from the school and they was like, "Oh, that's just the 1%." Because it is. It's a small number. It's not like our kids. It's a small number. They call it the 1%. But that's what I was trying to make. That 1% was powerful enough to make them shut down.
Well, you know, they say you know the saying, they say one bad apple spoils a bunch. So
if 1% could change the politics of our city for an event that we've been having for probably 100 years in this city, 1% was able to say, "Nah, we got y'all spooked enough that y'all gonna shut that down. Ain't no fireworks on July 3rd in the city of Peoria."
Yeah.
1%. So before we disregard that 1% like it ain't a problem, it's a huge problem because it's dictating 99% of the politics and the things that's going on in this city. So it must be addressed. We cannot look at it like, and a lot of people ready to say, forget them kids. Like when most programs, they look for the orange and the yellow kids. The red, the shooters that already got, I probably got a couple bodies. They don't even want to deal with them. My organization, we saying we want them. Them the ones we want. Because if we can't reach the shooters, it's going to be more bodies. Especially, obviously, they still free, right?
Right.
And once you done cross that line and you done caught a body, it's a lot easier to do it again.
But you tread up, but you like, it's like, I ain't mean to stop, but it's like a fine line, you know what I'm saying? Because if anybody could say that, okay, hip hop and music is making kids do something, then you could say a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger was shooting and somebody made somebody shoot somebody, or a video game that shoots somebody. So you really, you know, it ain't just music, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't, I mean, that's a part of it. That's
it's in that vacuum. If people don't have those positive influences, you don't have an adult who's able to say, this is a messed up situation and that's how we deal with that, or you can see why this is wrong.
Guidance.
It's unsupervised kids taking media as life advice.
Right. But look at them games, like I'm saying, the games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger line, because that's a huge line that's always been used when people say you can't blame the music. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. They've been saying that line.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Keanu Reeves. I mean, you can say a lot of names, really.
Let me address that real quick, because there's music in movies.
Most definitely.
There's music in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie too. but that music ain't got one element that hip hop got, and it's that 808 drum, boom, boom, boom. Now, scientifically, what is this drum pattern doing to your brain? If you know the sound, he know what I'm talking about. Right. India people know what I'm talking about. It's the sound that they make when they want to slow their brain down to a meditative state because they're trying to get in touch with the God. So the drum 808 drum sound mimics the sound and it slows the brain pattern down. So it's putting our kids in what scientists call an entrained state. Entrainment. And then when they in this entrainment state, imagine the messages being played into their conscious and their subconscious mind. That's something that no other genre of music really use or films. And you only hear it in what? Hip hop. Matter of fact, you know when somebody in your neighborhood listening to it coming down the street in the hood, in your house, can you hear it? Boom. Boom. And just by hearing that sound, it almost tell you everything about the person and what's going on in that element that's riding by your ear. And that's
it could be anybody though. Anybody can play that music. I mean, white people play hip hop music now. So you get what I'm trying to say? I mean, anybody coming down, you can't say, oh, that's a black guy coming down the street with music, because white guys will listen to bumping music, so that makes them a killer. You know what I'm saying?
I never said that. Those words.
No, I ain't saying you said that. I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying that person bumping down the street is like, is it for general?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not.
I know what you're saying though, but I was just saying in general that could be anybody.
You ask a white kid, and you say when you listen to drill music, right? White kid will tell you, yeah, all the time. And you'll say, when you wake up and you look in the mirror, do you ever think you can be Lil Durk? He gonna say no.
I told you not to.
And then you ask that same white kid, you say, how many black kids you think look in the mirror and think they could be Dirk or Vine? And he gonna say a whole lot of them. That's the difference between that black kid and that white kid. Is that white kid look in the mirror and he know he can never be Dirk. He can never be Vine. So like she said, I'm listening to it and it's giving me an experience of what these people are going through, but I'm not about to do it. I'm not about to go through that. But I'm going to live it through them for sure as a form of entertainment. But the little kids, they not seeing it like that. They seeing it as they new role model. So Vine claimed to have at least 17 to 27 bodies. This is what he said publicly. I'm not saying public information. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty much
but he could be lying. He could be lying too. So
and he could
who
be
knows?
Lying.
Is it that, you know?
I got a question.
Regardless of the fact, when I'm speaking to kids at Carver Center, and it's 99% of kids in there, and it's one little white kid in there, and we asking them to ask questions, and all of them asking different questions. Then the little white kid come up. And he get to his question. He said, is they going to get the people that killed King Von? He was about 6-7 years old. So we ain't answer that question. We got next question. He put his hand back. He put his hand back in the air again. So we like, okay, maybe he got a better question. We'll have a problem. So we asked him, thinking again, he said, is 6'9" a snitch?
Huh?
I'm like, who parents is this kid? Like, where's your mama and daddy?
You watch too much TV.
Joe whispering in my ear, like, who is 6'9"? Dr. Corey didn't know who 6'9" was, but this 6-7-year-old did. And he was immersed in the culture. And obviously, if he had Carver Center, then his parents probably live in the hood. All that, but at the end of the day, even white kids that live in the hood, when they look in the mirror, they not trying to grow dreads. Why you think dread? I mean, literally, dreads became a whole trend when drill rap came out, 2006, 2008. It became a whole trend that took over. I remember when everybody cut their hair because Trey Songz cut his hair, and they was like, "You still got braids?" Trey Songz. I said, do I look like I follow Trey Songz and I'm going to go do something just because Trey? But that's the culture. We are following trend culture. So if everybody doing it, then I might as well do it, even if it's not right. And we need to change that. as black people ain't nothing that serious to hold on to something and be like, oh, we gonna hold on to this and keep making up excuses. Like if Jay-Z say in the song, I rape and pillage a village of women and children, we not gonna excuse those lines. And those your words in a song called Monster. And anybody watching now, go listen to it. In a song called Monster, those his words, and ain't no justification for him saying that. And we not gonna excuse him for that just because he's Jay-Z. I'm not. I don't look at black and white. I don't be like I'm a vote for Obama because he's black. No, I don't do that. I see us all as equal people. I'm gonna vote for the right man. I'm gonna vote for the people that's sticking up for our freedoms and our rights. That's why I never once said anybody should force drill rappers. No, they got freedom of speech too. They got the right to say whatever they want to say. And we got the right to support what we want to support. You got the right to what you're going to decide to play around your kids. So as an adult, you can hear something and you ain't going to go do it. But is your kid that mind stable while you playing that in the car around them? You need to be more.
I want to jump in here for a sec.
Go ahead.
So I feel like when you have somebody and they decide, I like hip hop or I like country or I like drill rap, they're in it for that rhythm or that sound. When you have, I feel like the best way to handle this is redirect them to someone doing something positive. Are there like some people you can call out who are making like positive rap and hip hop or drill music that we should say, hey, if you like Eminem, check this guy out. If you like, somebody else, you like Thought Squad, check this out.
That's what we do. So for the past 15 years, that's what we've been doing at God's Music Production. We create the alternative and we keep it street. We want the music because these kids are from the street. They experience it, and like Mimic said earlier, it's a fine line between rapping about what you're going through and promoting it. So you could rap about violence and murders because that's what you're witnessing and seeing. But am I about to make it like that's cool? And
Right.
we like shooting people? No, I'm seeing drugs. I'm seeing prostitution. I live in the hood. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is going on. So that's an outlet for some people to rap about it. And you know what I'm saying? That's all positive. That's good. We want that. We rather you rap about it than actually live it. I hope everybody lying about the bodies they got. You know, y'all ain't got nobodies, and it's all entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that line in that NWA film, it's a reflection of your reality. Our art is a reflection of our reality. That to me, really resonated with me.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you about something because, I grew up during the 90s. Columbine happened in 1999, and then immediately after Columbine happened, they went after two people, Marilyn Manson and Eminem, shock rock and shock rap. Where do you think the responsibility lies with the artist in that kind of scenario?
I don't think the responsibility lies with the artist. I think the responsibility lies with the community and the parents, the radio stations. You know what I'm saying? Because they the ones decide if we gonna put this music out. People got the right to say what they want to say. We live in America. If you want to make satanic, demonic music, you free to do that all day. Can't nobody stop you. This is America. That's what we stand for. I don't want that to ever change because I don't want nobody ever telling me who I could worship or what God I could worship. You know what I'm saying? I might not want to rock with Jesus, or I might not want to rock with Allah. You know what I'm saying? I might got a whole different religion. If I lived in another country, somebody would try to infringe on that. And I believe in, we need to make America work for everybody, not try to change what made us the greatest country in the world, which means you free. You got your own freedom. You freedom of speech, freedom of religion. You know what I'm saying? You're free. So as an artist, that's the whole point of being an artist. It's freedom of expression. So the responsibility, because if you ever hear T.I. and them, they say they don't let their own kids listen to their music.
Wow.
That's saying something, right?
So that's the artist telling you, hey, I'm free to express myself, but I ain't about to let my kids listen to it.
Well, it's also
You
your
know,
point
part of
earlier.
it is I'm old.
Developmental, yeah,
I
with the
feel
right
like
age.
our parents had so much better screening tools, though. It is, I mean, one of the things I love right now is I can look up any artist and pull it up on YouTube, but I can't monitor every single thing my kid says and does. I never had access to that. I had to bring my parents in to Walmart to buy a Nirvana CD.
So
My
you had to
kid
listen
can
to
use
Nickelback on the
anything
radio
he wants.
So
Yeah.
as a parent, since we know ain't no super cyber cop dad, a mom, we can't monitor. So what we do is now we got to be the ones to sit them down and talk to them about this stuff. We got to be the ones to sit them down. And the sad part is, a lot of these kids don't got that.
Yeah,
They
what does
don't got
intervention
They
look
don't
like?
even got the parents that's gonna sit them down and say, "Hey, I know that song said, you shoot him in the head and then piss on this grave." Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
and then put on social media. But son, that's not right, son. You know what I'm saying? As a father, if you're not saying, but son, that's not right. The karma that's gonna come around on you, it's gonna be devastating, son.
I believe in karma.
And you could not take that route. You could let karma deal with them people, because we don't never get away with nothing. I don't care if the court don't prosecute you or nothing. If you done dirt, done wrong, you didn't pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Most people, yeah, unless you have
a
money.
wise person will recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Some people never do it. We know how them stories end. But as parents, it's our responsibility now, because we live in an information age. We might got to start a little earlier than what our parents would have started back then, before they started talking to us about stuff. Because guess what? They already getting the information from somewhere else. So
I'm
glad
you brought that up. So there was actually this was probably 10, 20 years ago. Yale and Harvard both put in programs where if you were living in, if you were underserved in an area, but you were able to prove yourself academically, they would give you a free ride to Yale and Harvard. And what they found was, and this was designed for people of color, what they found was that the interventions weren't happening soon enough. You had to intervene in first, second, and third grade in order to have the desired result, to have that individual ready to go to an Ivy League school. So even though you had these individuals who wanted to participate, they literally weren't capable of doing it because of the surrounding circumstances. And it was, to me, it was really sad, but it was also really eye-opening. Like it is possible to resolve this with early intervention with the appropriate resources.
Without a doubt, and that's why we start young. Like I said, these kids 6, 7 years old, and they already know. So that means we might even needed to start even a little younger. Because if they 6, 7 years old and he asking me, is King 6ix9ine a snitch? Hold on, how is you even comprehending what a snitch really is? And then you knowing 6ix9ine, and why do you care?
Right, you 6, go play video games. Yeah.
Like go do something. Like, 7.
We were throwing rocks. We were throwing rocks in the alley at 6 years old.
but I'm telling you, hip hop is the most biggest, powerful entertainment in the world. Nothing in hip hop.
Right.
Nothing.
Did any of y'all see the interview with RZA?
No.
It was an interview with RZA where he talked about how big wigs in the industry got a bunch of the best artists of the time together, had a special meeting, and rapped. Yeah, exactly. Told them to rap bad lyrics and all what I'm saying, all this stuff, so they can fill up prisons. And they said y'all can invest in the prisons now, and y'all can make money off the prisons. Just rap songs, make sure all the minorities get in prison, and that's how they filled up a lot of the prisons, man. It's crazy.
It's like a conspiracy, but it is 100% true. If you go down to Louisiana right now, they still have prisoners who will dress up in those, suits and then go and serve stuff to the governor at the governor's mansion. Like, it's disgusting. Disgusting.
But hold on. You ain't got to go to Louisiana. I do advocacy work here in Peoria, Illinois. You can go down to Peoria County Courthouse. And I was just down there the other day, and it was about 18 people in traffic court. Everybody was black. The black people, the only people committing traffic offenses in Peoria.
That's a good point. So there was actually, what was it, back in 2020 when everything was happening with George Floyd? Brian Asbell, who was a Peoria County Sheriff at the time.
My dude.
Do you remember what he said?
I don't.
He was a 24-year veteran of the police force in Peoria County. He said, and this is the top official, that it is rotten to the core.
Yes.
I promise.
I was there when he said that.
I believe it.
Verbatim quote that was in the paper.
I love Asbell.
You know what?
Hey, I love Asbell too. I met him twice. I luckily met him twice.
I've talked to him a couple of times. He's a nice guy, but I'm gonna say I don't think he did enough.
That's why he retired.
His actions don't match his words, and that's what frustrated me with that individual.
Well, you only got so much power, and when the No Bond Safety Act came here, and it was about to change the whole landscape, that's Marion got out for that too. It wasn't just Asbell. And if you think about a lot of cops, people start leaving around the country when these
I got a story to tell.
No bond, you know what I'm saying, no bail.
I'm gonna tell you what's this.
Well, yeah, and their qualified immunity would go away if they did steps that would impact those individuals. That's why they were leaving.
So wait,
It had
You're
less to
being
do with the
sued.
bond and
You're
them
being
about losing their
sued.
jobs
Yeah.
and being held accountable.
You're right.
One
That was up for grabs too, but they didn't pass that. They didn't pass it, so cops can be held liable and can be sued at that time. I don't know if it's passed yet now.
They passed something that I know pissed a bunch of people off, but I haven't looked at it in a couple of years.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, the Asbell guy, like, that's the only sheriff I ever met and ever got any this close to, able to touch his hand. Out of all my whole 49 years of life, never been that close to a sheriff, never touched him. When he was there, I touched the sheriff. At one time, Carl Holloway had an event for fathers at the Carver Center, and he came with his family and sat there for a couple hours. And that puzzled the heck out of me. I was like, I'm the DJ, so I'm looking like, is that really the sheriff and his family? So I'm like, then I did another event for Jahan Gordon, and he came and he showed up, and I just had to say something to him. I'm like, hey, how you doing, Mr. Sheriff? He's like, how you doing? I said, you know what? I never seen a sheriff in person, especially a sheriff that's in a lot of the minority areas, hanging out with the minorities. And you know what? This is honest to God truth. This man, he leaned in and he whispered in my ear. He said, they don't want me to. That's what he said.
Exactly.
This is clear out of his mouth. To me, to him.
I believe you 100%.
I will not lie to y'all. The man told me to his face, they don't want him there. They don't want him hanging with the minorities. They don't want him.
Be nice to Brian Asbell again.
Sit at the table by itself.
Thank you. That might change a little mind about him. That's why I told that story. It was for you, Phil. It was for you.
We got your back, Asbell.
I thought very well of him.
I'm gonna make a song about whoever.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I met the county auditor, what was it, Jessica, as they were trying to kick her out of the position that she was voted into. She was one of the individuals who told me that she was highly disappointed that he was talking a good game, but he wasn't putting the actions behind his words. So, and I didn't know that he did that. The fact that he was showing up to the community is a step in the right direction. And that's something that needs to be just acknowledged that is flipping awesome. And even though the rest, everybody else behind him didn't want to do it, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
I still think that he had opportunity to do more things for the black community, and he chose not to. And I'm not going to let him forget that bit.
I know. I think it was a lot about your hands being tied. When you're in the kind of situation he in, man, that's a tough place to be.
Well, he was busy,
county
man.
sheriff.
Now let's hold Chris. Let's hold Chris accountable. The new sheriff. That's who's.
I don't even know him.
Yeah, I don't even know either.
I met him. You know what I'm saying? We fed the whole sheriff department. We did Officer Appreciation Day. We bought all them Avanti sandwiches, all the whole sheriff's department.
Wait,
We
didn't
did
they
the
showed
police
up to
department as
Robert Bell's thing? He showed up to the boxing
Yeah, he
thing.
did.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no,
Okay.
that's the chief. That's the chief. No, that's
that
actually
was
the chief.
Okay,
Yeah,
it was
now the chief, yeah. Now our chief, he definitely hang in the community too, a lot. You know, the chief definitely.
Yeah, but Chris, he a cool dude. You know, I'm still trying to figure him out, but I'm telling you, man, we gotta. Is what's going on down at the Peoria County Courthouse need to be addressed. Like when I'm talking about, it is not right down there, and when people rights are being violated, you almost think like we're not in the United States of America.
You're right. Well, statistically, it backs up everything that you're saying. If you look at it, if you are black in America, you are 7 times more likely to be arrested for a crime. And then they did the statistics. They ran through white community, black community. The difference in crimes was negligible. It was less than 1% in the amount of crimes that were being committed between the communities, but 7 times more likely. And then if you were black and you went into the system, the punishments were 3 times more harsh.
So Gary Moore had an interview with Eric Echeverria on this station, and he called Eric out. He said, "Don't you think more black people are being arrested? It's because you got more police officers sitting in black communities waiting for something to happen."
Mm-hmm.
And Eric had to admit, he said, "Yeah, that's probably playing a part. It's playing a huge role because, like you just said, the crimes that's being committed is probably less than 1%, and whoever did the data on that is probably off."
It was like 93.1 to like 94.2%. It was
not coming
negligible.
From, no racial nothing. But when I was a kid, I said, "Mama, how is the drugs getting? How? Where's the drugs coming from?" She said, "Well, black people don't own no vote."
Well, at that time they didn't.
At that time they
that
didn't.
I know of.
You know, in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
They might own boats now, but back in the 80s and the early 80s, I don't know too many black people that own boats.
Do you guys remember when the Black Panthers raided an FBI field station in California? It was a 19. You remember what they found? They found that the CIA was working with the Italian mob to put crack cocaine into black neighborhoods so that they could arrest people at a higher rate. So they could put black people in jail and make money off of them. So we'd have a permanent underclass.
For real.
This is the crazy
Philip,
part.
I like you, guy. You're a very well-read individual. You know your business out there.
I try, my man.
Here's the crazy thing. Some people think that some rogue CIA agents may have been responsible for assassinating JFK. It was either them or the mafia, because this is something most people don't realize. Joseph Kennedy, John Kennedy's father, was involved in bootlegging back in the day. That's how he made his money. So he's business partners with the mafia. So John F. Kennedy, he kind of started the investigations and the FBI raids against the mafia, and they weren't particularly happy about that, because this is like being backstabbed by the son of a former business partner. That's my good bit.
Well, it was if you go back, it was securities and entitlements too.
So my music, we talk about all this stuff in my music. The counterintelligence program, the Black Panthers, the TV show Snowfall. That's pretty much based off Freeway Ricky Ross.
Based off the war in Nicaragua. Yep.
So and the thing is, like, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, the manufactured need. So if you pull all the jobs out of the community, and then you send in your confidential informants, and they got on minks, they got the beautiful women, they got the Cadillacs, and the whole time this guy is the informant. And everybody like, "Man, dude, what you do for a living? You know, how you making your money?" Like, "Oh, I got these kilos." You know what I'm saying? Here go a couple for you. Go sell them to your mama, your grandmama, and your whole family.
They created opportunity.
Like
that's entrapment. Mm-hmm. That is illegal to do that. So imagine like you said, they stole documents. They put the proof out. You can even go to CIA.gov. It's on their website under Black extremists and look up anything that he just said. If the viewers want to read this stuff for yourself under the counterintelligence program, but by the numbers still being staggering the way it is, like African Americans make up 13% of the population of this country, but we make up over 50% of the prison population. That means this program has to be still going on.
So I'm going to change the subject a little bit because, War, why don't you tell us your story? Like, how did you get to where you were?
My story was I was born and raised in East Oakland in the 80s.
Oh.
In the middle,
right.
in the middle of all the snowfall stuff happening. I was 6 years old, and we used to have walkie-talkies, and we used to have to yell task force, task force, task force when we seen black Chevys hit the corner, because police didn't patrol our neighborhood. We lived on East Holly Street in East Oakland. So I never seen a squad car until I moved to Peoria. I never seen a regular police car. When the police came through our neighborhood, they came in box Chevys. They was 3-4 cars deep. They had 4 people in each car, and everybody had a shotgun. They had on jackets that said task force. And they would jump out the cars and they would go raid garages and, you know what I'm saying, raid houses and stuff. That's the only time they came.
Of the police.
And we was kids, and the drug dealers in the neighborhood made us, like, it ain't like we had a choice. They gave you a walkie-talkie. They said, this is what you gonna do, and we're gonna pay you at the end of the day. And we live so poor in Oakland, you know what I'm saying? Walkie-talkie, task force, we running as kids, jumping fences. This is fun. Next thing you know, they turning 50s, 100s in the airplanes, throwing them to us. Whatever you get is yours. So we out there catching airplanes, 150. So I'm 6 years old going to the Eastmont Mall with my 7-year-old brother and my 8-year-old brother and my 7-year-old sister. We go to the Eastmont Mall by ourselves, go to the movies, go to the Chinese store, buy Chinese food, all that by ourselves at 6, 7 years old, little kids, you know. And then we moved to Peoria. And I seen somebody get murdered, you know, when I was 6 years old. We just outside playing kickball, broad daylight. Group of guys come from around the corner, kicking the door. We lived in like an apartment building. They kicked him, new guy. He was young. He just moved in the neighborhood, and I guess he didn't what they call check in. He didn't let the people from that neighborhood know he was moving in the neighborhood. So they kicked in this door. We hear tussling going on in there. Then we hear a gunshot. Wow. As you know, we see them dragging him out. And I'll never forget a trail of blood dragged all the way around the corner to where you hear another gunshot. And then you go around there and all you see is brain matter on a couch that somebody had threw away and it was sitting on the curb. And the police never came, no forensics or nothing. The flies ate his brain. Every day we came outside, it was still there, and the flies was just there eating. And I never forgot that as a kid. So when we moved to Peoria, you know, we had older brothers and stuff we never seen. They was driving us through the alley saying, Freddy Krueger gonna get y'all, Freddy Krueger. We said, Freddy? We just watched that movie. Freddy ain't real. But y'all driving through these alleys crazy like that. Ain't somebody gonna start shooting? And they looked at us like, shoot. Where y'all just come from? From where if you drive through the alleys crazy, somebody gonna start shooting at you. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, Peoria was like, we called this little house on the prairie.
Right.
People still wanted to fight here.
Right.
They still thought they was doing something by calling your mama the B word. Your mama be okay. She said, don't ever fight because somebody said.
Right. East Oakland was tough in that back in them days. You ain't lying. Oakland was real tough. Yeah, man, you ain't lying, man. I think that's where Tupac moved over in Oakland. It was tough in Oakland back in them days.
Somebody get stabbed. First day there, somebody got stabbed.
Yep. Right. Yep. Oakland ain't no joke. Back in them days, the murder rate was real high in Oakland, man.
So how did you become a rapper? Or what was your first step to going towards it?
Money. Like, this is lucrative and it don't look hard.
Would you find like a studio? Or was it
I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Did you link up with somebody around here to like get in the studio, or what did you do? What was the first step?
Look, I went in the room. I wrote down a first rap, and I came out and I rapped it to my brothers and sisters like it was somebody else. Like, y'all heard that new joint? And I memorized and I rapped
That's
it to them.
clever.
They was like, that was dope. I'm like, yeah, I wrote that. That was mine. They was like, you ain't do that. Yeah, that was me. They was like, oh, it was all right. Oh, it was all right. Yeah, it was just hot in the mud when it was somebody else's. I said, yeah, I got it. Don't ever depend on nobody else to tell you got it. You know what I'm saying? You know
Right.
you got it. You gotta motivate yourself out here, man.
For real, for real.
I'm telling you, the people closest to you, no matter how much you love them, man, they will hold you back.
When did you find your first level of success within rapping?
The Source Magazine Unsigned Hype Tour. When the Source Magazine, they came to Club Icons down when they was downtown Club Icons, and Source Magazine, they brought the Unsigned Hype Tour here. I mean, everybody was in it from Montana. I mean, Black Flag, everybody was in it. And we made it to the final round, and I picked the last number. It was 16 final acts. I picked the number 16 out of the hat. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up being the last act. I'm like, that's what's up. Closing this joint. I'm the headliner, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everybody was rapping about gangster stuff. So out of 16 acts, how many people can you kill? How many bricks can you sell? How many can you know what I'm saying, sleep with? It all sound repetitive. And then I'm the last act, and I got up there and I performed a song called Addressing the Issue. They go, I keep the vest and the pistol for protecting the hit crew. This threat is official. I'm addressing the issue. No protesting the system for not detecting no missiles. No confessions from elections. We elected a criminal. People who kill and deal, that's connected with minerals. Thieves who steal under the pretext for the divisible. Congress signed it, generals enforced it for the invisible. Ones behind the scene that make the cream and it's miserable. Illuminate the lie so it's seen in a vivid view. The way the media shines its light on it's despicable. And all these rap artists spitting satanic rituals, trying to put the spirit in your main man to get at you. Living in the insane land, it gets physical. With the Holy Spirit, you'll be able to live it through. Exercising all demons. With the music I spit is true. Remember the battle is with the flesh, offending the spiritual. Addressing this issue in the condition that's critical. Subliminal messages being sent is a miracle. Rappers ain't killed nothing, but they lyrics are serial. Promoting all this evil because they think they imperial. So by time the first verse, everybody in the building coming to the floor like, who is this? What is he talking about? So if you go listen to the song, like I'm talking about the Illuminati had Tupac and Biggie killed, Suge and Diddy worked together to kill Pac and Big. It was all the Biggie was killed to cover up Tupac. I was talking about this in 2006.
Well, yeah, they found some evidence to support those claims, haven't they? Or at least, I mean, I found
They
some like
bringing it
random
out.
stuff, but like I don't know anything about that. In fact, you mentioned earlier something between Jay-Z and Diddy. What's going on there?
Well, like I said, I've been talking about this since 2006, and it's just now starting to come out. But y'all want to learn more about that? I got a song called Addressing the Issue. Like Tupac, Tupac was the first one to say Killuminati, right? We know Machiavelli the Don, Killuminati.
Yeah, Killuminati, yeah.
But when most people heard Tupac say that, they did not know what Tupac was talking about.
Nope, I didn't know what he was talking about at that time. I didn't. I was young.
They did not know. So until I told people that he put the K on Illuminati, because in a gang, if you disrespect the gang, you put the K on the end. So when they be like GDK, BDK, they disrespecting that gang by saying that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they a BD killer or they're a GD killer. But instead of putting the K on the end, he put it on the front because it was already spelled ILL. So it was Killuminati, Killuminati.
Yeah.
And most people didn't even know. Like, they focused on him changing his name to Machiavelli. They focused on the 7-day theories and the sevens that surrounded his life and all that. But nobody talked about what Killuminati meant. Nobody knew. So in 2006, after I broke the Machiavelli code, because he got a song called Crazy spelled with a K. And in that song, he say 3-day theory, Killuminati to your body with the impact of a 12-gauge shotty, double R slugs, no love, straight love, haha. One time for my niggas in the jail cell. And that song, when he said 3-day theory, 7 plus 3 is 10. 2006 was the 10th year anniversary of his murder. And that's when I dropped the song addressing the issue, where I talked about the Illuminati and all this stuff that's going on right now to this day. And you could actually go watch the video. It's on YouTube, and you'll see the date that say put out 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You listen to everything I'm talking in there in that song. And I won the Unsigned Hype Source magazine tour in Peoria off that song, and the winner got a free video. So that's when 747 Productions had moved to Peoria from LA, and they the ones that had shot my video for that. And Corbin Parker was the director, who was had a hand in helping Montana launch his career. But the last thing I want to talk about is the core of my movement, and that's based around my book. It's based around what Cat Williams, because obviously everybody talk about Cat Williams and how he allegedly broke the internet, right? Of all the stuff that he's talking about in the industry. But like I said, I was talking about the stuff 15 years ago. Another thing I've been talking about for over 15 years too is dark matter, dark energy. You know what I'm saying?
Talk. I love quantum physics.
Yeah. So fire can kill you, right? Fire can destroy your physical body, right?
It can convert it to energy, yes.
Right. Lightning can kill you, right? It can destroy your physical body, right?
Ionization of plasma.
Right. The sun can kill us. We need water to live. Water can kill you, right? It can destroy our physical body, but we need water. Air, we need air to breathe, but air can kill you. It can destroy your physical body, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so all the natural elements of the universe we know can physically, literally harm us and kill us. Name one way darkness can hurt you or kill you. And we got a lot of intelligent people on here, so take the time to think about it. Name one way darkness can destroy your physical body.
Well, darkness is
just cold. If there's no sun, there's no warmth. You freeze.
So in the summertime, when it get dark, is it cold now, or is it still hot as hell?
I'm thinking about it if darkness is like in the vacuum of space.
If the world was dark and we didn't have no sun,
if it got cold just because the sun went down in the summer, we shouldn't need AC when the sun go down, right?
Yeah, but like, what about
the desert at night?
What about if we didn't have a sun? Yeah, you can, but that's being cold though. But like, if you didn't have sun, you couldn't grow plants and you couldn't grow a lot of stuff. So we probably would die off if we went in.
So you know, I didn't say the lack of sunlight. How the lack of sun. You know how the
just
lack of water, we can die from the lack of water. Right? I didn't say the lack of water, you can die. I said water can kill you. Right?
Yeah, right.
For your physical body. There's a difference.
Yeah, right.
What can happen to you to the lack of light? I said name one way darkness can kill you or destroy your physical body.
It ain't the darkness that's gonna kill you, but you won't see what does.
Okay,
exactly.
It can't. Darkness can't hurt you or kill you or destroy your physical body. But we've been told our whole life that darkness is evil, right? Every time it's referred to in a negative sense, right?
Personally, this is just my opinion.
So, hold on, let me finish, Awesome. So when you close your eyes, what do you see? You see darkness. So most people close their eyes to pray. But if I hold a seed in my hand, right, and I water the seed, and I let the seed get all the sunlight that it needs, is it going to grow and live in my hand?
Depends how moist your hand is.
No, the first step
hydroponics.
It's unlikely. Very unlikely.
The first step in creation is planted in darkness. All life is created in darkness. You plant a seed in a woman's womb, that child is being created in total darkness for 9 months. If you disrupt that process and take that baby out of that womb before the process is up, then the baby come out undeveloped or it die. Every chicken in an egg, total darkness. Every reptile in an egg, total darkness. Every plant is still alive. You can chop it down and it'll grow and bloom the next season. How do you kill it? You take the roots out the ground, take the roots out of the darkness and expose it to the light. So when you look outside and you see all them billions of stars up there in the heavens, what they say makes up 95% of the universe. Dark matter, dark energy. So it's darkness around every star. So they used to say the fastest way to travel is moving at the speed of light. That's where you get the number 1 from. That's where you get the letter L from. Einstein said no. He said if we could bend space and time and bring one point to the next using dark matter, dark energy, and create a wormhole, then we get from one point to the next instantaneously. So the 0 comes before the 1. Darkness comes before the light. That's even in the very first chapter of the Bible. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of God hovered over the waters. Then God said, let there be light. And then there was light. So before God spoke light into existence, there was no light. There was no heaven. There was no earth, according to the Bible. This is the very first chapter of the Bible. It's called the creation story. The only thing that already existed and that was upon the face of the deep was darkness. So if God is love and peace, the only element in the whole universe that will not physically harm you is darkness. And you have to close your eyes every night to go to sleep in order for your body to heal in the dark.
So actually,
that's interesting too, because stepping out of Christianity into kind of new age things, part of working on yourself and growing is shadow work and pulling yourself away from things and kind of like being alone by yourself in a dark place where you figure out yourself, because you can't grow with all that light and interference.
That's deep. That's real deep. And a lot of people call it meditation. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
all you doing is closing your eyes and clearing your mind. Scientists say that as soon as you do that, your brain starts emitting alpha waves. But instead of calling it meditation, we need to call it what it is. And what it is you tapping into dark matter, dark energy. That's what Nikola Tesla did. That's what the Grace did. And when you recognize and give the credit to where it belongs, that's when you're able to tap into that universal brain and understand what's really going on with life. Like all of us have a black hole in our eye, right? All of us. We different in so many ways, but we all got a black hole in our eye. And they say the eye is the gateway to what?
Soul.
The soul.
The soul.
Right. Because your soul is made out of dark matter, dark energy. The angels in the heaven got upset when God said, I'm going to create man in my image and give them a piece of my original essence, the essence that created the whole universe. And the light beings, the seraphims, the fire angels, they said, so you going to give man dominion to rule over what we was created out of? Yeah, we got dominion over fire, lightning, the sun. We done harnessed all these powers and manipulated them every which way like gods. We have dominion over the earth and over the elements, and we have a small piece of the fabric of dark matter.
Look what we're doing with it.
Huh?
I said, look what we're doing with it. I feel like we could be doing better.
Hey,
right.
but
Even
people,
the way you said that, talking about angels being beings of light, what makes us like God is having the capacity to hold darkness.
Look, that's deep. That's deep. But think about it. Most people don't know. See, this information was given to me from the ether personally. God told me this information personally. You can't go get a book. Matter of fact, I'm the one that wrote the first book called Darkness is God. You could go, it's in all the stores right now. But I asked God, I said, because at the time I was 19, I said, God, this information is so simple. It got this scientists, geniuses, all the time. I'm not the brightest cookie in the book. I can understand why I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But it got to be a whole lot of people that know. God said, you know how hard the enemy works to make sure your brain never think about it like that? Every movie, every reality show, every script. And now that you hear this, watch and pay attention. Every time you're going to hear somebody use the word darkness in a negative way. Yeah, when you can't even name one way that it can physically harm you. And you know why? Because the moment you connect your soul back to the darkness that created the whole universe, because it's everywhere at all times, it's omnipresent. Guess what? You become one with God.
The way I personally see it is that in some ways, light and darkness are part of the same force. Like darkness gives birth to light. Like when all light converges into one thing, what does it become? It becomes black. Darkness.
What?
Yep.
I say, wait, when all light converges into one thing, it turns into white light.
No.
Right, that's what I was thinking. You might be blinded, but you blinded by light.
Light combines, yes, but if you put all the colors in a puddle, you'd get black. Light and like
all colors.
That's
all
changing
colors
versus light rays. He's right.
But what he's saying is the yin and yang theory. that darkness and light is equal, but it's not. Matter of fact, water is above light on the elemental scale. They have already proven that life can exist without light. Life can exist in parts of the ocean where no light can penetrate. That's already proven. Now, can life exist without water? We haven't proven that. Water is, when we look for life on other planets, we look for water. We look for signs of water or canals that would show us signs that there was potentially
Depends
life
on where you're
on
looking.
that planet.
Because if you're looking in Europa, like Europa has, liquid, I think it's liquid hydrogen for their oceans as opposed to like liquid water. But they've also found that liquid hydrogen, and with some of the vents that they have underneath this big ice cavern, that there's very likely life that is supported there.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
like fishes.
Well, and where you say that's at?
Europa. It's one of the moons of
Jupiter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the that and like Mars. Mars is, is really fascinating.
I've been talking about aliens. Like, you go watch my video, We the Ones. We got UFOs in there. Like, we've been, the Bible. I tell people all the time how you can't be a Christian and not believe in non-human intelligence, and you can't say that they're spirits because in the Bible they were sleeping with women. I mean, spirits, y'all know, can sleep with a woman. And get her pregnant.
So yeah, that's a good point. There's an army base pretty close by, though. I hear that can maybe throw.
I mean, I'm just saying, these kids came out to be giants. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they said these men took these angels took our women. They took
the Anunnaki or whatever they're calling them.
That's in the Bible, and these was non-humans. They wasn't human. So an angel would be considered an alien or extraterrestrial. So if you believe in angels, you believe in extraterrestrials. You believe in
the way I kind of look at it is kind of like a like Odysseus. When they looked at cyclopses. You know where a cyclops comes from? So what happened is when they went on that journey, crossing, I think it was the Mediterranean. I don't recall. I'm not an expert on this stuff. Yeah. When they went on that journey to cross it and they found this island, what they found were elephant skulls. And when they looked at the elephant skulls, they have this one big void in the center right here. And they thought it was giant humanoid cyclopses. That's where cyclopses came from.
Wow.
So I kind of look at the
interpretation of a skull.
I look at the Bible from my perspective is a wonderful story that teaches you stories on how a better life to live and how you can live a better life, within the confines of the society that we had 2,000 years ago. And then we've seen that translated, hundreds of times into all these different languages, and we've really disconnected from the underlying message of what it was the Bible was trying to say. So I guess my point of view on the Bible is I don't take it literally. I take everything with it with a grain of salt, but I do find that there's much value in the Bible when you look in the right places and you use the book appropriately.
Like, I think as a Hindu, like we believe there probably are extraterrestrials. Like, there are the devas, which are like the gods, and the ashras, which are like the anti-gods.
We know the Indian people believe in extraterrestrials.
Like the ashras
are in their culture.
Like the ashras are like Thanos, the Mad Titan, and Galactus, the World Eater.
But I mean, it's common sense, right? God didn't create all those planets and all that we look up and see just for our engagement. Hey, I'm gonna make the heavens just so y'all can admire what you can't reach.
Worst case scenario,
we barely made it to the moon. You know what I'm saying?
Worst case scenario, they're like
if we made it to the dang moon.
Worst case scenario, they're like
going to the flat Earth. All them theories and stuff.
Oh, we can talk about that. Let's go.
Worst case.
Please no.
Worst case
Any
scenario.
flat earthers on here? Let's talk.
No, please not. But my thing is what I always tell people is whether if the Bible is 100% fact or it's missing pieces or not, it was written by a man. As men, we are flawed. We make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Even the anointed men by God made mistakes in the Bible. Every single one of them, allegedly, except one, Jesus. But every other anointed king, they was doing some grimy stuff. What David sent a girl husband off the war so he can take her. Took somebody's wife. Like, you the king. Why you need my wife? Don't you got 100 concubines already? You know what I'm saying? So when you just because you're an anointed man of God don't mean you don't make mistakes. So you could have been sleepy one night and you forgot to put a word in there. And forgetting one word can change the whole meaning of a sentence. So, and would God allow that? Of course he would. Because he don't want you to put your 100% faith in a man anyway. God wants you, like she said earlier, come to me in a dark place in your closet where ain't nobody around, no books, no people.
Yeah.
Form a relationship with the creator. That's not a book. Yeah. That's not a pastor. It's not a church. It's
right.
God.
Your soul is your body. Your body is your temple. You are God. You are
Yeah.
Every time, every person, Moses, everybody that talked to God went to talk to God alone.
So
they didn't bring a crew with them. Come on, everybody.
He couldn't even bring the tablets down.
It kind of doesn't matter which Bible you're looking at. You're 2 or 3 translations down the line. Even if you believe, say, John was giving God's direct words, we're not listening to John. We're listening to this translation of that translation. Different churches have totally different Bibles because they don't all believe those words mean the same thing.
Can I just throw this out there? The balls on this guy, the King James Bible. What the fuck? He named the Bible after himself.
Oh, I didn't know he could say that. No.
He named the Bible after himself. And then we all just went with it. Are you kidding me? You think God was like, King James, you're the
King James version. It's the remix, Phil. It's the remix.
Never tried
Wasn't the King James version part of how he was able to legally divorce his wife, though? Like, didn't he start a whole new church?
No, that was Henry VIII.
There was a lot of stuff that happened. So if you look at the history of the Bible, you didn't see the introduction of the devil until 400 years later, and it wasn't actually anywhere near the Middle East. It was in South America and in the Caribbean. And then you see the introduction actually made it into scriptures 200 years after that, and it was essentially just a guy going down there telling stories about what he thought should happen to people who do bad things, and that a demon or a devil would come and mess him up and do all these terrible things. But the point that I wanted to make is when you look at the interpretations of the Bible and they're taken literally, if you go back to some of the original text, specifically like about a man shall not lie with another man. It was actually a man shall not lie with boys. It was anti-pedophilia. It had nothing to do with a man lying with another man. But in 1983, they changed the King James Bible to that language.
Wow. And whether if it's intentional or unintentional don't even matter. It's not the word of God. It's the word of some man in his translation, and probably according to what he wanted to put out there in a form of control.
Thought was that if there's people who are gay, that they're not going to make children. And if they don't make children, I can't grow the religion. So they tried to just ban being gay from the religion so that you would be forced into having children. And if you want to get married in the church that you're in, you have to commit your child to being a part of that church.
Wow.
So like when I was a Lutheran, I was confirmed Lutheran. And in order for to have our, I don't know, he's a pastor to come and do our wedding, one, I had to do a bunch of like sessions with him. And if he didn't think it was a good idea, I wasn't going to do it. So I'm like, okay, I kind of have to bend to his will. But then I also had to sign a piece of paper that said, my children are going to be raised Lutheran. And I'm just like, what?
Wow.
Yes.
And see, this is why when they say only God can judge you.
Wow.
That's the truth. That's the fact. Us as human beings, if we go off
church or a gang
or something that somebody else said,
sign your life away here. And your
free mob.
Hey guys.
I mean, but we all know that a lot of the stuff is about control. It's like church has their own.
We're almost out of time.
So just a heads
Okay.
up.
Oh yeah, we are.
So,
Well, I mean, I've got time. I can stay on a little bit longer. I think this is a great conversation. If you guys are, but we'll certainly be respectful of your time.
I think the part that really bothers me is how much of the Bible is trying to make me satisfied with my lot. I'm the meek, I'm the poor, I'm going to inherit the earth. All I have to do is exactly what I'm told until I die, when I get to go to a better place where I have all the things I need because I never had them here. But it's weird because it's the people in power who push that agenda. I don't know a lot of meek people running churches.
I'm going to say this. The Catholic Church has $73 billion, and we still have homeless people. We still have homeless people. There's a, what is it? I did the math. There's 326 churches in McLean County, and they have less than 200 homeless people. If they put one homeless person in each one of those churches, they wouldn't even fill up the church. You would have one homeless person
I'm not
in each
Christian,
church.
but I
and we
believe
can
in tithing.
eradicate
I'll give
homelessness.
10% to charity, but I
they're
won't give
doing
it to
their
the
job.
church.
Look, just keep the money we just sent to Ukraine. But I'm not even going.
That's a whole other thing. We can talk about
Yeah,
that.
I want y'all to think about this real quick though. So go back to the darkness. If what I'm saying is right about the darkness, and it won't hurt you or destroy your physical body, that means the only way to tap into it is through love and peace. So what does that mean? That means we supposed to move with love and peace. That's how you inherit the earth. Because if we can't show that we can't look past race, we can't look past somebody's religion, their sex, what they do in the bedroom, and still love each other and be peaceful amongst each other, why should you inherit anything? For one. And for two, God still loved Lucifer. Say, you think if Lucifer or Satan was God's most beloved angel and he messed up, that God just stopped loving him? No, that's not how love works. Love is unconditional. God still loved Lucifer. Nowhere in the Bible do it say God kills or destroys Lucifer. Never. Because that's still his son. God loved all his creation. This is all a test. Even for the angels. I tell the angels all the time, if y'all can hear me, you around, I don't have no problem with me. I ain't got no problem with y'all. I love y'all too. Even the fallen one. That's why when the George Floyd thing happened and everybody was like, we about to go protest in front of the police department. Well, how we protest is with love. So we about to go buy them lunch. So while y'all outside spewing hate, forget the police, F the police, what is that going to solve? You think that's going to make a police want to do the right thing by you spewing hate at them? No, hate breeds more hate.
Hey, you know what? I'm actually gonna push back on that, because I had a very close friend of mine who was in the military that was at the what do they call them? The rallies in Aurora, Illinois, and she's a combat veteran. This person that saw combat, went down here to support the mission, support individuals who are being underserved in the community. What she saw when she went down there was a water bottle got thrown from one side of the street to the other. When she looked over at the police, what she saw police that were ready to engage in warfare. They weren't there to keep the peace. They were there to start shit. And as soon as that water bottle flew over, suddenly all of them came in and started pushing everybody back, dropping people down, beating people up. You know what they did? They had the numbers. They pushed back. They started flipping cars and they started breaking windows. And I'm 100% with them. Those police acted out of character.
And I feel you, but let me finish my statement. So by that, like you say, flipping over cars, it's chaos. Now, take a racist cop for a minute. Because we ain't gonna just sit here and talk about little black drill kids like they been brainwashed. Every racist person has been brainwashed by somebody. Probably was mama, daddy, probably was grandma, grandpa. This behavior is taught. Nobody comes out and say, where are those niggers at? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no baby come out racist and you know what I'm saying? Just like ain't no kid come out and say, where the switch at? I need to shoot up the hospital. No. If anything, all they think about is where the titty at. You know what I'm saying? Where my food? And I need to get some sleep so I can grow. That's it. And babies not thinking about who they about to have sex with. They not thinking about who they about to shoot or what race they're a part of. You know what I'm saying? I have babies come out, they look white. Next thing you know, they look black. You know what I'm saying? But my point of what I'm saying is when it comes to how we reprogram the mind. So if a white person is taught from a kid, these black people are monkeys, they're monsters. Look how they treat each other. Look how they do. And then a kid is being raised, and then he goes to look and see what black people do, and all he's seeing is hip hop music and us on TV and in the news and the way the media portrays us. So it's reinforcing what they was taught. So then something bad happens. And they say, so what is black? How black people gonna react? They're gonna react like how we said they're gonna react, like animals. They're going to get out here and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. They're going to burn up their own neighborhoods. Watch, I tell you, son. Watch, I tell you. And the son is on the police force.
So there's
it's his job to keep order. And now everything that he was taught is being reinforced by our actions. Not ours, not mine. Because you know me, I'm the one that's coming in the police department like, here's lunch. I appreciate you putting your life on the line every day, because every day you wake up and you see dead kids in the street. You gotta go witness dead babies and then go home to your family, and nobody is caring what mentally these police officers is going through every day. Yeah, they on the edge. And every day you can get shot just by pulling somebody over, and what you getting paid probably ain't worth enough. So I'm putting myself in their shoes at the same time, and I'm understanding that if you racist and you don't like me, it's because a picture been painted of me to you. And you know what? I'm here to show you that whoever painted that picture of me to you was a liar.
I think
I'm gonna do that with love and peace, and then you're gonna be thinking about, man, my mama lied to me, my daddy lied to me. That guy that infiltrated man. He bought me lunch. My mama ain't never bought me lunch. Ain't none of y'all never bought me lunch. Warren came down here and bought us lunch, man.
So
I don't care
one thing
what
I would argue,
this is from black people go with me. And if I was able to reach one racist cop, just like how people said they were able to reach one kid, they say, imagine how many people's lives if I reached one racist cop and changed the way he thought about black people.
However, there's actually a
how we fight wars, love and peace.
There's actually a philosopher named Aldous Jr. He's a black socialist. One thing he argues is that often because in our culture, race is being used to supplement class conflict, so to speak, because basically economic inequality is basically the big problem of society. But like the thing is, what I have problems with, like the 1619 Project by Nicola Hannah Jones, published by it gets a lot of things wrong in terms of history. Like the very first African people to come here were actually indentured servants rather than slaves. However, slavery came on later. The thing is, however, I think what we need to the focus of what's wrong with our country is that, do you know how much our money is basically concentrated in a select few? I mean, not only that, there's so much. Our history is not only that, because technologically speaking, our society isn't as advanced as it should be. Like,
if you see the technological curve, we should be much farther along. But I wanted to mention.
Economics. If we're gonna talk about economics, there's only one single entity responsible, and that's the people that print and issue the FRN, the Federal Reserve note.
That also.
That's the Federal Reserve. They decide when the interest rates go up. They decide when they come down. They decide how much money they want to put in circulation. They decide how much money they want to pull out of circulation. So if your bank is FDIC insured, that means in order for any loan to get approved to this bank, the Fed got to approve. So if you apply for a business loan and you get denied, it wasn't that bank that denied you. The Fed said we're not giving them.
So I know you had said that you're really into history, and I feel like we're kind of, our society is changing. So like if we talked about the Holocaust or we talked about the civil rights movement, we would go out and interview a bunch of people. And one would be the lady marching on the street. And one would be the kid hiding under their bed. And one would be like the lone survivor from Auschwitz. But when you look at it now, everything is being streamed. We've got videos. I feel like we're reaching a point where we used to, in order to build history, have to like gather up all these stories from people and then decide what was valid and then tell our story. And you know, the victor always gets to tell history. But now we are going to have a picture of this is what happened. This is what he said. This is what she did. And I wonder if we're even going to go like into getting that motivation of why did this happen? Why did you do that? What did you see? It's just going to be, this is what happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like I tell people all the time, I don't argue opinions because everybody's entitled to one. So if you got an opinion about something, that's cool. It ain't no right or wrong opinion. You have a right to your opinion. Now, when we
but
talk
if
about,
I don't know what it is, how can I engage or change or influence or even interact with you?
Right. So the only thing we should be engaging in is the facts, and the facts that we know from today, not something somebody wrote 2,000 years ago to be a fact. We could just deal with what we know to be facts in our lifetime, and we could just use that basic information, what some people call common sense. It's just like even when I talk about the darkness, you know, our whole lives we've been taught that it's evil, but I've been preaching this since 2003, and I've yet to find one person that can tell you one way it can harm you or physically kill you.
I got it.
But if I have to intervene when you're 6 to get you into Harvard, doesn't it doubly matter why you did it more than what you did?
What you mean? Why you helped somebody get in Harvard? Or
well, just like when something goes down, what was your motivation? Why did you do that? What were you thinking? What were your influences?
I mean,
if action is important.
Tell the truth. If you help somebody get into Harvard, you should be credited for that. And I'm not saying they owe you half they check or something, but but if that's what happened, tell the whole story. Like when you go to court, they say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, because there's a difference. A lot of people omit certain parts of the truth, only gonna tell you part of the story. You know how relationships are, right?
Yeah.
You know, you look at the one side of the story, the other side of the story, and then you might get the whole truth, but you gotta listen to both sides. But when you tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, then you have a basis to start your foundation on. But it gotta be based off stuff that we know to be facts. And like my man was saying earlier, ain't much we can really say we can prove to be facts in the Bible. And since we can't prove it to be fact, why don't we deal with more of what we can prove in this lifetime that can't be argued, can't be disputed or debated? Because like he said, how many different denominations is it out the Bible? Up, you know what I'm saying? Like 100? So
100, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a whole lot of people that can't agree on one book.
Hey,
It's the same
hey
book.
guys, just to let you know, we've run out of time, unfortunately. So,
Well, wait. I got to hit on something real quick before we end this. Number one. So matter in the universe. 5% of the universe currently has matter in it. 26.8% of the universe is dark energy, and the more than 60% of the universe is just energy being thrown out. When you take matter and dark matter and they collide, it annihilates the matter. It turns it into pure energy. It goes away. So, but to your point, that destroys the matter itself, but that does the physical information, but it turns you into energy. So you're not really destroyed, you're just converted.
Okay, and that's based off who information or who scientific proven facts is coming from CERN, the proton collider in Switzerland. Like, where is this information coming from?
I don't know. I mean, like,
and that's another thing. We always got to consider the source too.
Well, like
I will tell you right now, 95% of the universe is dark matter, dark energy, darkness. And you know how you can prove that? Just go outside on a clear night and just look up at the sky.
Well, but it's not necessarily about darkness. Doesn't necessarily make dark matter. dark energy is actually something that's detected in the universe. It has it has a signal that they can say, but they don't. They're having difficulty determining what it is. And then
no, they know what it is. They don't want to admit to it. And this is how I'm gonna prove it like this. If a doctor, if I'm about to have a heart attack, right, and the doctor cut me open while I'm awoke, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna die. What's their first step? It's putting me in that deep sleep, in that darkness. Because when you in that what they call comatose state, they can cut your body open, take your heart out your body, sit it on the table, fix some tubes up, and put your heart back in your body, something they would never be able to do if you wasn't in this deep sleep meditative state. That's the power of the healing of your body when that darkness is activated while you sleep. That's why you have to go to sleep for your body to heal. Dark, what we consider a shadow that follow you everywhere, that's no different than dark matter, dark energy. It's inside you, it's everywhere all time. And Morgan Freeman had a episode on the Science Channel. It was called Through the Wormhole, and they talked about dark matter, dark energy. And he said if we tap into that, we tap into unlimited power.
So
there is no unlimited power source in this universe that we know of.
So hey, I'm sorry, everybody, but we really need to end the show because we really are running out of time.
Sorry,
Thank
the
you
very last thing, super duper important. Ron Stallworth, he was a detective. He was black. He infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan back in the 1970s, and this guy was able to convert hundreds of white supremacists away from the Ku Klux Klan until 2006, when the Ku Klux Klan filed for bankruptcy. And we had the last chapter of the Ku Klux Klan was actually in Pekin in 2008.
Wow.
I don't disbelieve that.
Yeah, what's his name? What's his name? Matt Hale?
Did they make a
Matt Hale?
Ron Stallworth.
Was that his name?
No,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
Black
Wasn't the
Klan.
dude named Hale or something like that? That had something going on. Matt Hale, Matthew Hale. Yes, it was, man. He was a Pekin. I think that's his name. I think.
Oh, I think you're talking the Pekin stuff.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I wasn't around for a lot of the stuff that was in Pekin.
Dude, he finally got locked up. Dude, Matthew Hale, he definitely was with white supremacy.
Deep though, Philip, that dude through love and peace was able to bring down this whole organization.
That is deep.
All them people that through one man, they've been lied to. That's deep. I appreciate it.
I wanted to point that out because I see what you're doing. I see the value in it, and I think it's fantastic and awesome. And I think we should continue this conversation at another time.
Definitely, man. I enjoy talking to all y'all, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
This is a good one, man.
Yeah, y'all let me know
I'm gonna email you.
Yeah, Ashmir didn't stop us until we was 20, 30 minutes past the time. He usually be on it. Like, look, he's
he tried
it's
to
time, guys.
So thank you for tuning in to Peoria Life. Thank you for your time.